Right after the earthquake, there was a conference in the UN, I think March 31st, 2010, where most of the influential foreign countries pledged $5.6 billion towards the reconstruction of Haiti. Most of those funds have yet to be disbursed, or at least a significant proportion has yet to be disbursed. Why is that? Well, Haiti went through this period of political instability, okay, starting with in November of 2010, right before the elections. And the elections were hotly contested, and the new president was not inaugurated until May. Now, so you're looking at a 6-month hiatus during which essentially there was no aid coming in. And I can say probably you have to go back to September, because as people were preparing for the elections, most of the foreign governments that had pledged the funds became somewhat hesitant to disburse it to the existing government because they didn't know what was going to happen. So I think they took a wait and see attitude and said, well, we will disburse after the new government is in place. So fast forward now, it is May, and you can say most of the funds had stopped flowing since the end of September 2010. The new president comes into power, but according to the Haitian constitution, the prime minister is the one who runs government. Without a prime minister, there is no government. You cannot have a cabinet. So consequently, the president was in a rush to try to name a prime minister. Well, the first two names that were submitted were rejected by the parliament, the legislative chambers. That's the Senate and the House of Deputies and the Chamber of Deputies. So it wasn't until October that they finally reached consensus on a prime minister. So that's October of 2011. So you could say that for almost a year, the amount of aid that was flowing out of the 5.6 that had been pledged had been minuscule, or just, to say the least. Once the new prime minister took office in October and all the other cabinet members were appointed, then Haiti finally had a functioning government. And we began to see some significant progress. People, it was dramatic, because a lot of people that had been occupying a lot of the open spaces of some sort of parks and so forth with their tents, they were evacuated to shelters. Okay? You were beginning to see a transformation. There were a lot of roads being rebuilt, homes being destroyed, and places being freed, rubble being moved, and so you got a sense that something positive was happening. And this was, I was there in November, December, and again in January. It was very encouraging. And my last trip in January of 2012, it was probably the most optimistic that I was since the earthquake. It was very, very impressive. The second anniversary of the earthquake. Finally, I thought the country is about to emerge from the rubble. But unfortunately, 3.5 weeks ago, the prime minister resigned. Okay, so funds were flowing between, I would say, between October and until probably end of February, when the prime minister resigned. So putting the country back in chaos because there is no government. And they still haven't, to my knowledge, they still have not agreed on who the new minister should be, or they haven't ratified the one that the president has selected. So we're at an impasse, and who's suffering is the Haitian people, and that's the unfortunate thing. And right now, with the cholera epidemic really in full swing because of the rainy season, the country really needs to urgently address the needs of the peoples, because otherwise you're going to see tens of thousands of Haitians die once again from cholera.